Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, I'm Taylor Coyne.
I'm James Cook. We both research retail and real estate for JLL.
And this is everything we know about retail.
Woohoo! Welcome to Everything We Know About Retail. This is where we tell you everything we know about retail, that is, but only 3 things at a time.
Sometimes we drop some nuggets of other information too, though. So, it's not just always retail.
I call those bonus nuggets.
When you do actually get really excited, when you do get a bonus chicken nugget from, anywhere.
Oh, that is the best.
But, anyway. Happy 2021, James.
Yes. Nothing crazy happening in the world. 2021 just been so smooth here for the first 2 weeks. Just loving it. Loving it.
My thoughts exactly. Everyone thought that we'd turn a corner in 2021. But, it's all right. So now that we're in the new year, James, do you know new stuff about retail?
Yes, I do. I know the final tally of holiday retail sales for 2020, and I can tell you it was kind of a mixed bag. And I also know who won our holiday retail sales bet with very high stakes attached to it. But what do you know about retail?
I know that supermarkets and drugstores are going to have a growing role in 2021. And I mean, if you didn't have 1 to 2 to probably 10 stories about grocery stores in 2020, you'll probably continue to have them in 2021.
I hear you.
But, I also know that we're going to see some more department store closures this year. But some retailers are also ramping up openings, with a light in the end of the tunnel.
Okay, well, tell me about 2021 closings and openings.
All right. So I was reading Trends in 2 minutes. James, are you familiar with this fantastic weekly email that comes out?
Trends in 2 minutes is an email. Well, we shouldn't be promoting it too much. It's an internal email that's for our for our JLL folks. It doesn't get sent externally, but it's a great opportunity for us to we do all of our analysis of kind of the current trends of retail. So it's a great thing that we do.
Yes, I apologize all of our millions of listeners who don't get it. But if we have to talk about it, I'd be happy to. But this week I was reading all about what happened in Q3 from Keisha on our team. And, it was a little dark. U.S. net absorption fell negative 19.2 million square feet. That is a 330% drop year over year. That is significant.
It's the first negative absorption that we've had, I want to say, in 10 years or so. Yeah. And for folks who don't know what absorption is, it's just the change in occupied square footage. So that means a lot of retail space was made empty in that period.
Which, for more context, so 17 major retailers filed for bankruptcy in 2019. You want to guess in 2020 what it was?
Okay, so 17, so 30 in 2020?
Just about.
Okay.
Just about 30 major retailers filed for bankruptcy in 2020. That's a ton. And about all of there's just so many more millions of dollars of their assets of some of these major brands that, filed for bankruptcy, more than we've ever seen before. So it's just, it's taking a toll on all of our malls and our power centers and all of the places that, we go and shop at. So, and there have been already a few announcements as we hit 2021. So we knew this was going to happen. You knew that more closures were going to hit, but it's still a little shocking to see. So Bed Bath & Beyond is closing more than 40 stores this year. However, on the bright side of Bed Bath & Beyond, they're doing a whole new store revamp. I feel like when I think of Bed Bath & Beyond, I think of, you think of the floor to ceiling, just like everything you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Definitely. Floor to ceiling, kind of a bit of a labyrinth there at Bed Bath & Beyond too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I often think of help me with the show. The two girls in New York. One of them loves Bed Bath & Beyond. She always clips the coupons.
I know of what you speak. I am blanking on the name. Broad City?
Broad City, thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I often think about that because Abby really likes to go to, Bed Bath & Beyond. She clips all the coupons. And I mean, it's great. It's like a treasure hunt. But they're revamping their stores, so it's not like that anymore. It's very much more compartmentalized. You can see all of the products in one place. And apparently the few stores that they've done, that revamp for are doing great. So that's a positive. Macy's did announce that they're closing 45 more stores. That's part of their plan, from a year ago about that they were going to close 125 over 3 years, but does look like that timeline has escalated. So I think, we're going to hear some more of those. The biggest of the Macy's stories, though, that actually hit close to home for me, because this was one of the first places I went to when I visited Chicago for the very first time. About this time, however many years ago, it was my freshman year in college.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend and I, we went to school together. We were visiting our best friend who went to University of Chicago. It was negative 15 degrees.
Yeah, typical Chicago day, yeah.
Why we decided to go over President's Weekend was beyond us. We didn't know. We were young. It was college.
Right.
But it was so cold exploring. We had to duck into the Macy's at Water Tower Place on Michigan Ave.
Man.
And
yeah.
No more.
Yeah. RIP. That's a tough one. I didn't grow up in the Midwest, but when I moved here, that was sort of like an iconic place for me to go visit. So yeah, that's a huge bummer.
I think people are pretty shocked by that one.
Yeah. I mean, department stores have just been so hurt by COVID. Just department and apparel. I feel pretty positive about an apparel comeback this summer. Mm-hmm. Department stores, I think they really need to revamp themselves if they're going to attract customers to come back.
Yeah, but no matter what, we're going to see fewer of them. JCPenney is already closing more stores in the spring, and they already closed 150 since they filed for bankruptcy. And they did emerge from bankruptcy though in December after being acquired by Simon and Brookfield. So we'll see what those two owners have in store for JCPenney. So you'll know that they want to at least keep some of those stores super productive. I think we'll see a lot of change in 2021. Brand change, store change of really just trying to get that customer back in the store, probably in the second half because we're still not shopping.
Yeah, with those owners of shopping centers acquiring their own anchor tenants, it's really a way to make sure that they control the future of those anchors. I'm sure a lot of viewers know this, but some may not. If you own a shopping center, the anchors usually aren't paying a ton of rent in cases where they pay rent and the anchors don't own them outright. The profit in a shopping center is gained from the smaller inline tenants. So by owning your anchor, you don't have to worry that you lose it, because without that anchor, your inline tenants are going to want to flee.
Right. Just because, and again, of like you show up to a mall, the first thing you notice are the anchors. They're huge. And if it's vacant,
right,
that's when you get the sad dead mall images or, the subreddit dead mall.
Right.
Yeah.
I really went into a Reddit hole over the holidays. We're not going to get into it here, but
it's easy to do.
There's so many deep holes in Reddit. Anywho,
on the bright side, though, we are going to see more openings too.
Yes.
We all know discount we're all in rough times. So discount always does well during a recession. Dollar General is accelerating their new store openings. They're going to have over 1,000 new locations in 2021 they want, including 1,700 store renovations and some relocations included in that. But that's just a massive amount of stores.
Yeah, for folks not familiar with Dollar General, you probably don't live in a rural or urban area. Like there's a real sweet spot there for Dollar Generals are often for places that can't quite support a Walmart. I live in the boondocks, so we got a few. They are appealing to that value shopper, which unfortunately, because of the recession, lots of folks are shopping on budgets right now.
Yeah. So we're going to see a lot more of those, and we're definitely going to see a lot more Aldis. We'll talk about grocery in a little bit, but I mean, in terms of new stores, they were the most successful grocery store in 2020. And I'm not talking about profits or anything like that, but just in terms of like, oh no, we're going to keep rolling out our stores. No pandemic is going to stop us.
So Taylor, in your hoity-toity neighborhood in Los Angeles, do you guys have an Aldi?
No, we don't.
Okay. Yeah. No value shoppers in
we have one close by.
Okay.
Not close enough that I would go to it, because we also have 3 grocery stores. I have a Trader Joe's, I have a Sprouts, and I have a Vons.
The Aldis in Southern California are all relatively new, and they did a great refresh of the design and sort of the concept of the stores. So some of the older ones in the Midwest where I am are a little bare bones feeling, but I really like you've been to some, right, in Southern California? Yeah, they're pretty solid, right?
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah. Clean, open. It's got all you need.
Super value too. I mean, you can really save some money shopping. Yeah, we're doing it. This is brought to you by Aldi. Doing a commercial over here.
Look, we go to all of the grocery stores, especially in COVID times, and especially in LA, where we're still waiting online and stuff is very bad. So I will go to all of our grocery stores to,
just as an excuse to get out.
Well, one, yes, it's the only socializing I'm doing. But one, if someone's line is too long, I'm going to go to the next one. So I would be shopping at Aldi if it were closer, but I've got 3. But anyway, James.
So any real quick before we change topics, any other openings on the horizon that we didn't mention?
Well, I think we're going to see, those are like the major ones who are rolling out, I think.
Did you mention Lidl and I missed it?
Oh, no, I didn't. It's on
okay.
In my head. Lidl's going to be opening. And also we're going to see more Amazon Freshes. We're going to see a lot more of those. They, I feel like, rolled out more stores than I realized in 2020 after another one that they opened sort of in my backyard. It's a 30-minute drive. I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, I'm really interested in personally visiting the new Amazon grocery stores with, now they don't have just walkout technology, but they do have self-checkout carts, which I'm really excited about. Giving a stroll myself, although a few of our coworkers have already visited and reported back and said it's awesome.
Yeah, so. It's seamless, and we're all about, I don't want to spend more time here right now. So, I think it's a good tactic. We'll see what happens in 2021. All right, James, what else do you know about retail now?
Oh, now it's time for holiday retail recap. Most importantly, the super high stakes holiday James and Taylor bet. Okay, as viewers well know, before the holidays, we had a crazy variety of predictions over what was going to happen during retail sales for November and December. And Taylor said that she predicted retail sales were going to grow by 1% to 2%.
I was what we call more of the Debbie Downer side.
Yep. Now, I was a bit more optimistic. I said they were going to grow by 3 to 4%. Now, I should say we don't have the official numbers yet. As we record this, the official numbers don't come out until tomorrow from the U.S. Census. But what we do have is the preliminary numbers from MasterCard. And MasterCard reported that between November 1st and December 21st, spending rose 2.4% growth. That's year over year. Now, remember, Taylor took 1 to 2. James took 3 to 4. So I think nobody wins, right? Isn't that how it should be?
I don't know. Isn't Price is Right rules? I win?
Price is Right rules is you were the closest without going over.
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I think. Because we don't have the official numbers yet.
Fine.
We're going to say that you've tentatively won, but next time we're going to know for sure.
That seems fair.
Whatever it is, we had some optimistic expectations from people like NRF about the holidays that look like they're proving incorrect. I got to say, though, over 2% holiday growth, considering the nutso year we've had, I feel good about that.
Yeah, I think it could have been really, I mean, it was still dark, but I'm saying it could have been darker. We could have seen no growth. Really?
Yeah. And it was the holidays, like we're talking about this average, but really it's a tale of winners and losers.
Yep.
Target just released their store comps for November and December. They were up 4.2%, which is really solid. Meanwhile, Nordstrom, again, we're talking about the negatives around department stores right now. Nordstrom saw a 22% decline during that 9-week holiday season period. That's pretty rough. Another one that I just heard about that I don't have the exact number for is Signet Jewelers. Apparently they did really well. They had, somebody was just telling me they had their best holiday in like 8 or 9 years.
Which is so interesting. And I mean, it does make sense. Again, I feel like it's, what they call the lipstick effect. It's something kind of small that makes you feel good. So people are just like, all right, I'll spend something on jewelry or a watch. Watches did really well. Not necessarily over the holidays, but they had been doing really well in 2020 more than you would have thought of, fancy watches doing during a pandemic. Why do you need to know what time it is?
I know, right? Time has no meaning. Why are we purchasing fancy watches now?
Yeah, but again, kind of it's something small, makes you feel good. It's different than wearing a pair of shoes where it's like, where am I going to wear these shoes to? I at least can wear this watch and then, show it on Zoom.
Right. Here, check it out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you're supposed to do it too. You're supposed to do it like this.
Now, not to go off on a tangent, but why would I buy a fancy like Rolex when it doesn't even tell me how many steps I've done? Like, it doesn't tell me my heartbeat. Like, I need that.
That's going to be the next iteration of Rolexes. On the bottom, it just has a little, step tracker.
Yeah.
It's like a nice one, where it like the old school. In my head, I've got it visualized. It's cool. It would fit in the Rolex theme.
All right. So market watchers, holiday market watchers, you want to check out the official release tomorrow from the U.S. Census to find out what sales were really like over the holidays. And I would suggest you look at the sales numbers without auto and gasoline because people aren't driving right now. And that's just going to drag the numbers down. So that would be a more realistic number. And I won't be surprised if it's like 1%, 2%, maybe a little bit higher, but we'll see. So Taylor, what else do you know about retail?
Oh, 2021, still going to be the year of grocery. And I'm going to tack on medical for that. Because
medical as well. Yeah.
Medical as well. They're all, in my mind now, they're all intertwined anyway, with pharmacy and medical and grocery. So I was starting to write our annual grocery report, which will come out next month. And I was just kind of, reading what people are up to, because I think a lot of the people's questions are, grocery had an abnormally fantastic year that can't continue, like
those are going to be tough comps to beat, man.
Yeah.
It's really unlikely.
I just think, March, April last year was just a different time. And I'm hoping we don't go to that very dark, depressing time again. And I really think we're at the light of the end of the tunnel, but I also don't want to be naive and too optimistic. But the point being is, what happened? We all talked about grocery. I think we're also still stuck at home for at least a good half of the year still. And then people are still going to be nervous. So what does grocery do? And, outside of, all of the grocery pickup and all of those accelerations, what they're doing is they're all going to start administering COVID-19 vaccines. Right. And I think there's a push for anywhere, your local pharmacy and then your local grocery store, and some retailers I've heard of even, thinking about trying to administer vaccines to people just because there's that space. Vacant department stores putting, a pop-up COVID vaccine. But I think that's, it's going to keep them in the conversation. It's not necessarily keep the same sales that they saw in March when everyone bought toilet paper for their entire extended family that they weren't going to see for a year. No. But, I think that's pretty great. And then I think I really do like so this is unrelated to grocery, but still about this kind of use of medical in this retail space of that they're using, hundreds of the closed Sears to help administer vaccines, the floor plans, the parking lots, the easy access to highways. It's all a huge, big advantage. So even though it's temporary, I think it shows how these medical uses fit so well into these locations that were originally chosen for retailers. So we're only going to see more of that in 2021.
So do we see, this is interesting. So we know CVS and Walgreens is partnering and doing a lot of vaccines. And eventually that's going to be for the general public. We know that some grocery stores are going to be sites as well. I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe a Walmart or Target in some places does it. It depends on what the state and local governments choose, right?
Costco is doing it.
Yeah. So do we see a retail vaccine bump? Like you go in, you get your first injection, and then you go, I don't know, buy a pizza at Costco or something.
I'm gonna be on a real high. So yes, I think I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm back. Let me buy all of the things.
You're gonna be like, rip off your mask and be like throwing food in your mouth and run around the store.
Yeah. So in that sense, yes, I think there will be a boost. Is it going to be huge? No.
Yeah.
I still think it's good for them, especially for, more of a maybe like suburban rural places. You're going to try to tack on all of this stuff at once.
I mean, so at 2020, we saw this real reversal where leading up to this leading up to 2020 for several years, restaurant sales were higher than grocery sales. And we've just been talking about that. Everybody loves to eat out. Everybody loves to, carry out, all that jazz. Then because of COVID, total reversal. Now people are spending more money at grocery stores. Does that flip back this year? Or is there some stickiness and you think it's going to take a year or two for it to flip back? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Because even with the vaccine, and trust me, I am out there. I am going to all of the places. I'm going to all of my restaurants. I'm going to all of my bars, but it's still that's not tomorrow. And it's not the next month either. And even at that point when we're all, when a good portion of the population is vaccinated, there's still going to be some fear. It's still going to feel weird. As excited as I am, I think, and yes, humanity sometimes have short memories, but I still think there's some people who are going to be a little on edge. So I think it's going to take a little bit, but I'm optimistic for 2022 in all of our restaurants. And I just hope that, all of people keep doing the pickup of their local restaurants, trying to support them as much as they can to get through this kind of, I don't know, what I'm calling the last 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly trying to find good predictions on when the return, we'll call it the return to casual dining and entertainment, the entertainment boom, when that's going to happen. And one of the things I've been looking at is, okay, when do we hit herd immunity? And I've seen estimates, it's anywhere from 70 to as high as 90% vaccinated. I've also been tracking Harris poll data around willingness to be vaccinated, and actually been doing a timeline on it because Harris poll they do like a poll a week on this. And I think the last one was around 30% of people said they were not likely or highly unlikely, I forget the exact language, but to get a vaccine. And my hope is that's because it's new. And that as famous people in the news and politicians and your family and friends, especially your elderly family members, get the vaccine and are safe. And also like there's a FOMO element. Like you see people around you getting the vaccine, feeling better about their own personal safety. Like I think all of that will contribute to that percentage falling. I mean, I really hope so. Do you think so?
I hope so. I think, hold on. And actually, while we were doing this, I just wanted to really quickly share, if you don't mind, the graph that you did, because I feel like that is helpful.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I graphed out the Harris poll data. Go ahead and can you go full screen on that?
Yes, I can. There
awesome.
You go. So this, I will be honest, I say this is depressing, but yes, I hope as time goes on, and there's obviously a difference between those who are probably never going to get it and those who feel on the fence. And the way that the rollout is happening, I think anyone who might be on the fence has a few months to feel better about it, has a few months to see no adverse effects from those who have already gotten the vaccine. So I think that's helpful. I think that number is going to go back up again. I think, again, it's all just so new. You all hear this like, this has never happened. This has never been so fast.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like the timeline, the highest number. And so the gray line is people who are very or somewhat likely to get the vaccine. And then the red line is not very or not at all likely. I think it's interesting that back in August, it was the highest number, highest percentage of likelihood. Was that because my thought is that's because the vaccine wasn't a reality yet. And it was this idea. So maybe people had this idealized perfect vaccine in their heads. And then, I don't know, misinformation gets out on Facebook. There's one person or two people who have an allergic reaction, and kind of reality hits, and people are like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so I don't know, because when was we should add to this chart of when Pfizer announced that they have a viable vaccine. I'd be curious. Because
oh my gosh, it feels like yesterday. It feels like yesterday and 100 years ago. But right? I tell you what, man, when that news came out about the first vaccine and how high the effectiveness was, that was just a great day. I was really excited about that. I'm an early adopter, man. When it comes to healthcare, you just tell me where to go and I'll get your vaccine.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't cry a little bit at some of those first pictures. So it's fun. I get it.
You get a little verklempt about how fast modern science is. It's just amazing. The more you learn about how quickly this vaccine was spun up and the revolutionary technology that they used to create it, it's awesome. So you've been watching Vaccine Talk with James and Taylor, and now we're going to return to our regularly scheduled program.
This is what we call one of those bonus nuggets.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big old bonus nugget. I need a graphic for that.
Oh, anywho, that's good. We'll add that.
Here's another bonus. If you guys want to hear another cool conversation, check out the latest episode of Where We Buy. It is an audio podcast that comes out most weeks. You can find it at wherewebuy.show or whatever podcast app you listen to, including Spotify. I interviewed a gentleman at Adept Mind who is developing a search engine for your shopping mall. So you go to a shopping mall website. Normally, you get a directory of stores. Maybe you can say search for home goods and it'll show you a list of home goods stores. He's building, or Adept Mind is building, this search engine. They've already rolled it out at a handful of malls, where you say, what pair and brand of Nike sneakers you want, or, what type of jeans are, and it'll search the inventory of stores and show you across the entire mall where you can get it. It's pretty cool. So we talk about the artificial intelligence and machine learning technology and the models that they built in order to make that happen. I also want to encourage everybody to subscribe to Everything We Know About Retail. Hit the subscribe button. You can watch the replay or watch us live Thursdays at Thursdays at 9 Pacific, noon Eastern.
So Taylor,
yep. So Taylor, tell me everything else you know about retail.
James, I'll tell you all of it next week.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.